The only thing different about this rooftop is that it has a, it's got a VFD, okay?
Okay.
For the, let me just take this door off. Nah, this
is retail, right?
This one is for the whatever workout room, whatever you got, something like that. And then the one over there is for the other two community rooms or whatever. You know, like the one that you got with the kitchen in it and stuff.
The gathering and yep.
Yeah, and those are pretty basic thermostats too.
You guys run that one through heat yet?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Ran it through heating cycle.
Oh, it has run heat. Yeah, that got commissioned in April. So yeah. I have personally.
Who knows? We're supposed to commission it. So.
Well, no, I'm just saying it got turned on by, you know, it got a factory startup. So I have seen all three burners.
And then all the pressure transducers and everything runs to where they should be. You know, all that stuff.
Well, you're supposed to make sure of that, right?
Well, yeah, but you guys never communicated with me. That's the problem I've had with you guys all the time. And I'm working with you guys at 900 West and another project. That's no problem. You know?
Really?
Brandon doesn't understand that we're here to help you guys too.
The other building, is that a different PM?
Yeah, that's a different GM.
So who from Premier?
That's a power whatever. On that one, it's I think it's Gary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary's over there?
Yeah, I was out there for factory startup. We were out there for everything here. Hey, it's already running.
It's running.
I gotta take your word for it now. Did you guys have this on a schedule? Or what? You know? Or a schedule?
You gotta ask them.
Are you talking about the carrier units?
The makeup area, yeah.
The makeup air is 24 hours.
24 hours. Well, it's pretty fresh here all the time. But
Yeah.
like when it comes to like,
You have to condition that air all the time.
so there's.
So it's got a set point, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's what, 3 VFDs on there? 2.
That's a question for Joe. All right, so and these are going to be identical, okay,
Right.
both units. So
Right.
we really only need to look at the one. And then we'll go down to the thermostat. So this is where the control section is. Again, you know, I'm probably saying stuff you already know, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay. It's good for the video.
Right. Then anybody comes in behind you or whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll have it. Okay, so basic carrier rooftop unit. Like I said, the only difference is there's a VFD. So the display for it is run over into this compartment because the VFD is mounted up sideways in the blower compartment, and it's a pain in the butt to look at the display. So they give you the option of having this wire. So you can see right now, we're running in auto. We're at 42 hertz, just a little over 42 hertz, which is 71% of the full speed.
Okay.
Drawing 1.7 amps, okay? So if anything, if you ever had to do a reset on here, maybe you get a goofy power thing or something and the blower's not running, come up and look at this, okay? So there are some options on here that aren't used. There are some options up here that are not used, so you might see a couple of wires that are not connected to anything. That doesn't mean anything. We also have, so here's your main circuit board. All right, this is where your thermostat is tied into, your usual G and W and all of that stuff. This here, that's a Jade controller. This is for your economizer, all right?
Okay.
And the economizer is set for 60 degrees. So anytime we're below 60 degrees, this unit will decide, if you have a call for cooling, it'll say, we could satisfy that call for cooling with the economizer with free outside air instead of running compressors, you know? But what it will do, let's say if we're at 60 degrees and it's 30% humidity, it'll go, okay, let's use outside air. But if we're at 60 and it's like 80% humidity, there's a control in there that goes, we're not going to do that. Let's run mechanical cooling instead, because it's kind of like on a curve, you know. So and enthalpy control. So there is coil that needs to be kept clean. that side, this side, and it does wrap around, as you can see inside of here. Same like Joe told you with the LG units, just got to keep that clean. You can do it with a soft hose and a mild detergent. Really, I would caution against, a lot of guys like to spray New Bright and stuff, heavy acids and stuff. I wouldn't use that.
Which one you prefer?
If you do it all the time, you'll never have to battle a really bad coil. You know what I mean? So,
but which one would you prefer? Like a detergent?
I don't know. You'd talk to a manufacturer, talk to a local rep. You know? I don't do a lot of it, so. And then, of course, this is your gas section. You can see your burners. There's a flame sensor in there and stuff. That's probably not stuff you'd be pulling apart.
No,
definitely. At all. But that's where that's located. And then the only other thing you have in this section is that's where the blower is. You want to see that?
Sure.
Okay. Let me shut it down there.
This is RT1 or?
That's a good question. I can't remember what they called one or the other. Are you waiting to go? Because I could run down and get my nut driver. Okay. Come on, tell me that's strict. All right, put some pressure. So that whole economizer module, that Jade controller, that's already been set up. You shouldn't have to screw around with that at all. You know, of course, at some point, even though the building is new, you're going to want to consider, you know, getting a maintenance contract with somebody.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
You know, we provide all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you wanted to use us, and there's all kinds of levels of contracts too. You could have somebody just come out twice a year. You could do quarterly, you know, 4 times a year, whatever you want or whatever your budget allows. You know? If you were ever interested, you know, you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of our office. You'll have our phone number on a ton of stuff from the building, you know.
And you're from Premier, correct?
I am with Premier, yeah. I am a service technician with Premier. I've been with Premier for quite a while now. So there it is. So, it's our mixed air temperature sensor. And then the motor, and see what I mean about where they mount the drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if that module was plugged into there trying to read that damn thing. You know, it would be ridiculous. So, but that's what controls your blower.
Okay.
All right. And then the belt, you know, belt tension is important. Integrity of the belt is important too, but you know, if you're doing a maintenance, especially if you have a company out here, that's all stuff that we look at and you know, clean and make sure everything's okay. So wheel, you know, the wheel's another thing. You know, that's super important that stays clean, because if it starts to plug up, you start to lose your, you know, the amount of airflow you get, and it kills your efficiency. And not on the heat exchanger, you can kind of see it through the fins. That heat exchanger sits in the bottom there. So this sucks air in through that side, pulls it through the coil. The blower blows it down across the heat exchanger and then through the ductwork and into the space. So this unit will be predominantly return air as opposed to this, which is always outside air, okay? Unless you economize. And when you economize, there's 2 dampers. One starts to open and bring in outside air, and one will start to close off the return, and it'll exhaust the return air coming back from the space. Then the only other thing is where the filters are, and again, they're both the same on that unit as well as this unit. And then this is part of your economizer. This is your exhaust blower. If this ever comes on, it just blows air out on this side. And that's all return air from the building. I don't usually leave those tabs on there. So, and then there's your filters. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're 16 by 16 by 2.
Okay.
But we can double check. And then there's your humidity sensor right there. Oops. Yeah, 16 by 16 by 2. And again, both the units, I believe, we'll double check the filters just to make sure, but otherwise they're both identical.
Right.
So, And those don't look as bad as that, but
No,
they're kind
they
of
don't.
dusty. So,
And these you would change every.
well, it depends. You know, you could start on a quarterly basis. So every three, you know, you come up
3
here
months?
again in 3 months.
Right.
If you look at them, use your own judgment. Go, oh, these
Right,
are,
right.
you know, these are a little dirty. Then try 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It depends on the amount of activity you get in the space too.
Exactly.
If all of a sudden everybody in the building wants to, you know, be up in the exercise room, they're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
You know?
It might be in there. Let's see, maybe.
You need a ladder for. What do you need a ladder for?
He's gonna get up to
I got a 4-footer and I got an 8-footer.